show you how you're going to access Pear Deck and sign in. Because it's an extension, the signing in is a little bit different, and we're going to do it together today. And if you don't already have the extension installed, we're going to do that together today as well on your laptop or your teacher computer. So we're going to make sure you have everything you need at the beginning. We are going to play with it toward the end of class today, but I want to make sure at the beginning to check if you can install that. The second thing we're going to do, we're going to switch gears for the second bullet point, and I'm going to start a Pear Deck as a teacher, and I'm going to ask you to join the Pear Deck as a student, because I want you to experience what Pear Deck is like for kids. I want you to be able to see the different kinds of activities that are available to you in Pear Deck. And I also want you to see how Pear Deck works with a presentation. This could be a Google Slides presentation. It could be a PowerPoint online presentation. And it takes the work you've already put on your slides and just brings in different activities to make them interactive and engaging. The third thing we're going to do is going to be your playtime. That's where I'm going to have you open a presentation of your own, something that you've either been working on, maybe you've presented with it recently, maybe it's just something that you're going to play with on the fly. I want you to open a presentation and open up the Pear Deck extension and add a Pear Deck activity to one of the slides. And then finally, at the end, what we're going to learn how to do is how you, the teacher, can join an active Pear Deck session on two separate devices, once on your laptop and once on your iPad, because that'll give you the opportunity to use that iPad as a remote control so you can manage the Pear Deck while you're untethered and walking around the room. So we're going to show you how to do all of that today. We got a lot of learning ahead of us. The very first thing we're going to do, if you are on your laptop, what you can do is click the link right there in the session if you made a copy of this. If not, don't worry, we're going to put the link in the chat. On your laptop, you're going to go to the Pear Deck Power Up website to install in Chrome. If you don't have your laptop right now, or you can get to it right now, go grab your laptop. If you are not, don't worry, you can take a copy of this presentation and do this step when you are back at your teacher laptop. When you select this link right here, it's going to open this. Now mine says remove from Chrome. And again, I'm on a Dell laptop. I'm signed into Chrome with my PISD credentials. And it says remove from Chrome because I already have it installed. If yours says add to Chrome, that means you need to click the blue button that says add to Chrome and go through the process of signing in with Google. It may ask you your role, please. Your role is a teacher. So make sure you say that you are a teacher. Whatever questions it asks you, go ahead and take a minute right now to install that if you haven't already. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the first thing we did today, we're going to learn how to access Pear Deck and install the extension on your laptop, teacher computer. And just to reiterate, signing into Pear Deck means that you have opened the extension and used Google to sign in, Google being your PISD credentials. If you sign in with personal credentials, you're not going to get the paid version of Pear Deck, and it's not going to act the same. So please make sure that everything is signed in with your Google credentials. And we are now ready to move on to the second bullet point. This is where we switch gears, and you are going to convert into students. I'm going to convert to a teacher, and I am going to take you through a whole group lesson using Google Slides that I've prepared for you, the students. So are you ready? Okay, I'm even gonna switch presentations. We are gonna all switch gears. This is my Google Slides presentation from which I want to teach, but I have some elements of Pear Deck. So there is the little Pear Deck extension that I've already installed. I am going to start the lesson, and the first thing I want you to notice is that when you start a Pear Deck lesson, you have a choice to be student paced or instructor paced. Student paced is exactly that. It is going to give the students the ability to advance the slides. That's great for independent work, any kind of homework, something that they're going to be doing on their own. Instructor paced means you are going to control the slides. So if you advance a slide in the Pear Deck, it's going to advance it on the students' Chromebook screens. So you are going to be managing and controlling what happens on their screens by how you choose to advance the slides. Because again, Pear Deck is just an extension and it extends what a Google Slides can do. Now it's time for you to join. There's a couple of things I want to tell you about this screen. We are all adults in this fake scenario of my classroom right now, so I could easily ask you, please open a new tab, type joinpd.com, that's a website. When you get to that website, it's going to ask you for a join code, which is right here, YSNGEN. And I know that that is something that you could do relatively quickly. In a classroom full of students, this could take a long time. Even with secondary students, it might take them a while to open a new tab, type the right website, type the right code. So you could do this in another way. Down here at the bottom, it says give students a link. I can copy that. The link is now saved to my clipboard. I could go to Google Classroom and send it out to students that way. I could go to, I could send it in an email. There are lots of different ways. Did you know that you could also do this in GoGuardian? If I start a session in GoGuardian, you have a little tab up here that says Pear Deck. So if you are in a class and all the students that are in that class right in front of you are also on your GoGuardian class, you can tap Pear Deck. You can go select the file, the Google Slides presentation, and it will send it automatically, already logged in, ready to go. It will just open up as a tab on their Chromebook and they don't have to do anything. It is quick, it is easy, and this is possible because GoGuardian and Pear Deck are owned by the same company. So they are fully integrated. And again, all you have to do is open the correct GoGuardian class, press Pear Deck, select the right file, the right presentation, and it'll send it right to the kiddos. So that's another way that you could have the students join your Pear Deck. So I have 25 people in the session and there are only 14. Right here, I have a little message saying there's 14 students connected. So I'm waiting. It looks like I've got 14. I'm waiting to start the class until I have a few more of you in there. We are going to start the class. So this is my presentation. Thank you for playing along as students. I am going to pretend to be a teacher. This is my beautiful coworker, Lily, with a little megaphone saying, "Go team." And this is just a Pear Deck activity demonstration. Before I start, please forgive me. I put every single one of the possible interactive pieces inside this presentation. Please don't do that in real life. That would definitely be overkill, and you definitely don't want that. But for the sake of today's purposes, I wanted to show you what you could do with Pear Deck and show you all the options. So they're all in this presentation. So it's one of those, please kind of ignore what you're seeing. Don't do what I'm doing. All right, so here we go. When you are opening up a slideshow, which you see, I've got a screenshot of my Google Slides. You've all seen a Google slide. I opened up Pear Deck by clicking this little pear emoji. And boom, I got this menu to the right. Now this menu on the right in this red square rectangle are all the options of different things that you can add to a Google Slides presentation. And you are going to try all 8 right now with me. You as the student and me as the teacher. Here we go. Number 1 is the text activity. It is the first of 8, and the answer that the students provide will have to be typed text. So here is the question. This is my Google slide with a question, and on your screen, you should have a little section to the right with a little text box where you can click inside and start typing your answer. So what I would like to know from you, the 16, 21 people in our class, during whole group instruction, what does engagement currently look like in your classroom? And this is an open-ended, answer any way you like. If you can see on my screen, I, as the teacher, know that there are 12 out of 21 responses currently being, there's 14 out of 21. I, as the teacher, can come over here and click show responses. I teach teachers, so I know they're engaged when they are interacting with the material. Groups greater than non-groups. Students actively building on each other's responses. Using whiteboards, thumbs up, sign down, using ABCD cards. Students talking to each other. Everyone's listening. Thumbs up. Collaboration. Cartwheels and tomatoes thrown at me. Fern, I know that was you. All right, so I'm going to hide the responses very quickly, but again, I, as the teacher, can see that I have 19 of 21 responses. Now, here's the thing. Remember that I selected instructor paste, which means I still have a few kids working, but I am going to move on. And you know what's going to happen on their screen? It changed it for them, whether they liked it or not. If they were in the middle of typing, this is instructor paste. So as soon as I advance the slide, it advances it for everybody. And this is the next slide of my presentation. We are now going to talk about the other option, which is choice, which we lovingly call multiple choice, multiple guess, where there will be a correct answer. So on my Google slide, I have my question with my ABC, and you should have an option to the right to select either A, B, or C as your answer to my little quiz question. Here's the question. Pear Deck can be used with A, Google Slides, B, PowerPoint Online, or C, both A and B. Answer this quick quiz question. I can see that I've got 16 out of 21 responses already submitted, 18 out of 21, 19 out of 21. Ooh, I've got 7 of you saying that it's Google Slides, and I've got 12 saying that it's both A and B. Let's have a discussion about that. Pear Deck works with both. The correct answer is C. It works with both Google Slides and PowerPoint Online. The next interactive type is called a poll question. Now, on that previous one, I told it which was the correct answer. You could even have 2 or 3 correct answers, but I told it which was the correct answer. For a poll, obviously, there is no right answer. In a poll, I'm just asking your opinion. So here's our poll question for today. Of these choices, which iPad app is your favorite so far? Canva, Explain Everything, Pear Deck, Adobe Express, Seesaw, or Google Classroom. I may not have your real favorite on here, but of these choices, which one is your favorite so far? And I can see I've got 12 people who have answered the poll, 13 out of 21. If I were to show the answers, okay, we've got an even tie so far between B and F, which is Explain Everything in Google Classroom. Although Canva is not far behind. So there are the results, and there's the poll question. Pretty simple stuff here. We're going to move on. The next kind of activity is a number, and it is exactly that. The response has to be typed in with a digit, not letters. So you would not type in TEN, you would put a 1 and a 0 for 10. You could also decide what number responses are acceptable. So I picked a number for this question to be the answer, but it'll take any number. So here's the question. How many days until Thanksgiving break? I've got some number answers coming in. I've got 15 out of 21 already responded. I'm going to show the responses. Here we go. Ooh, some say 3, some say 4. I put in the correct answer as 3. And it kind of depends, right, on because if you're taking a day off, I don't know, my birthday's on Friday, y'all. Maybe it's 2 days for me. Maybe I'm just going to count my birthday as part of that fun. So this would, of course, work with math problems, any kind of number response. All right. The next one is website. Sometimes you want students to go to a website, and again, having them navigate or typing in a website can eat up a lot of time. It's sometimes easier if you could do something like this, where you give them a task and the website is embedded right there for them to go do something. And that's what I'm going to ask you to do right now. Here's your task. The PISD Digital Learning Team has a resource page for apps used in our district. Can you find the Pear Deck resource page on the tech directory? Do you see the tech directory linked right there? See if you can find it. There we go. All right. Now there's nothing for me as the teacher to see on my end, but this is where I would walk around the room, see what they're doing, making sure that they were able to access the site and that they're finding what I wanted them to do, bookmarking it, whatever it is I'm wanting them to do on the website. This is where I would be able to see what they were doing. Now this next one is the draw. Draw gives students the ability to write on the slide. Now, with student Chromebooks, their Chromebook screens are touch screens, which means if you give them something on a screen and you say, circle the one of this, draw an arrow for that, draw a line connecting, matching, whatever it is you're going to do, they can use their finger, they can use a stylus, they can also use the touchpad on the Chromebook. Sometimes I see students who use mice, that's totally fine. If they have a mouse connected to the Chromebook, no biggie, they can just use the mouse to draw lines however they want to do it. Let's practice it together. I want you to either use your mouse, the touchpad. If you're on your laptop, that has a touch screen. What I want you to do is draw a circle around one of these sentences, because one of them has correct spelling and grammar, and 2 both have problems with grammar and spelling. So take a minute and read these and circle the sentence with the correct grammar and spelling. I can show the responses. Oh, you found the colors. Oh, and a smiley face. So yes, they're absolutely going to find the colors. You know, that's the first thing they're going to find. And just so you know, none of this is anonymous. So if you get a naughty, it's going to have the teacher can see the first and last name of the student who circled whatever it was. This is so cute. Okay, this is my favorite one so far. But if you get something that's inappropriate, it's not anonymous. So there's nothing that they can do inside Pear Deck that's anonymous. So it's going to absolutely show who did what. Okay, so that is how to draw on the slide. That could be it could work with matching, circling like we did, underlining, all different kinds of things. All right, let's keep playing, y'all. Let's go to the 7th one, which is called draggable. Draggable is going to give you a little icon that you can drag onto the slide. This might work for maps. This might work for selecting things, voting on things, which one's the right answer, put your little marker next to the correct answer, that kind of thing. Let's give it a try. So in this example, you've got a little red star as the marker. And the instructions say, drag a marker to the spot where you'd most like to be right now. Now, I know you're probably thinking I'd rather be in Italy right now, Clara. Well, I didn't give you Italy as an option. You just have this map in front of you. This is from this choice. Please take that little star and put it where you'd most like to be right now. And you don't have to put Plano to save my feelings. It's okay. That is totally fine. And now I can click right here and show the responses. Ooh, all over the place. Look where we would most like to go. I most want to be in Seattle with my bestie, but that may have to wait. So you see how that works. I'm going to hide the responses real quick. And I'm going to advance to the next slide. Oh, if you were still marking your dream vacation spot, I'm so sorry I ruined that for you, but we're going to move on to audio. So here's the nice thing about audio. Audio is the interactive piece that works with other interactive pieces. Meaning, if you have a draggable, but you would like to record the instructions with your voice so that you have it both typed and spoken with your own voice, or maybe you're going to say it in another language, whatever it is you need to do, you can have an audio file connected to it. And let's try an example. This is the exact same map. The draggable is different. Do you notice the marker this time is a flag? And look over here. Do you see audio included? If you were to click that button, you would hear my voice saying, drag a marker to the spot where you'd most like to be right now. It can be longer than that, but my very short audio clip is embedded in the slide, and you can still drag the icon just like you did on the other one. So when I select show responses, I am not letting the class see who's selecting what. It is hidden. Your names are not hidden. But again, you are not able to see what I see. The teacher sees everything. So I am going to end our Pear Deck session. So it's gonna stop. I'm going to call this, I'm going to give it a name. I'm going to save and end the session. And I, as the teacher, have the option to open the reflect and review. And here is where I can grade. When I select the reflect and review, you guys, that's just a fancy way of saying, I need to grade this. I need to see who did what. From this drop-down list, I will see the name of every single student. They do not have the option to come in with the nickname like they do in Kahoot or other tools. They do not have the option to change this. It's going to be whatever their PISD login is. I'm going to select Leah because I want to see only Leah's responses. So as I start progressing through, I can see what Leah typed right there. This is what she selected for her answer. This is what she selected for the poll. All of her responses are listed right here. I can see everything that Leah did. What can I do with this? Well, here are my options. I, as the teacher, this is Leah's work. I can come over here to the upper left corner that says copy student link. I can send that link to Leah so she can see her work. I can send that link to the SPED teacher, to a counselor, to the principal, to mom and dad, to anybody who needs to see what did Leah do. I also, as the teacher, have the option to come right over here and choose the next student. So if my next student was Fern, here are all of Fern's, and here's the link to Fern's responses. So let me close that out real quick. So I can see everything either as the whole class or as one specific student. Now, the other thing I can do is I can export to a spreadsheet. It's not going to export the drawings. It's not going to take out the little clip of the drawings like when you were circling. So if you're using the circle one, that won't work exactly the same way. But if you did like multiple choice, if you took a poll, if you did a number, something to that effect, it will give it to you in spreadsheet form. It looks like this. And notice that column H says drawing because it can't give us a copy of the drawing. I'd have to go into Pear Deck to be able to see what the drawing was. Okay. Let me close that out. Thank you for playing along as students. And just as a reminder for today's agenda, I wanted you to install the correct extension and make sure that you were signed in with Google because that's how you sign into Pear Deck. I wanted to make sure that you had an opportunity to participate in a Pear Deck as a student. I wanted you to experience the activities because if you've never seen them before or you didn't know that there were 8 different ones, I wanted you to have a chance to kind of see what they are so you can start thinking about how you might connect the dots and use them in your own classes. And now it's time for us to switch gears. We're going to the third bullet on our agenda. You're out of student mode and you're going into teacher mode. And what we're going to do is I'm going to give you some time and I want you to open an existing presentation of your own. So I know that you have a presentation somewhere. Maybe it's something that you presented with recently. Maybe it's something you are going to eventually present with. I don't know. But you are going to open that Google Slides presentation. When you get that presentation open, you're going to see in the corner, you've got File, Edit, View. If you did install the extension correctly, you're going to see a little Pear icon with the words Pear Deck, and that is what you click to add that column to the right. I'm going to walk you through this, but we're going to do an overview. After that column on the right opens up, you will get to pick which engagement activity you want. Is it a drawing? Is it multiple choice? Which one's best for your needs? Then you're going to select the activity to add it to the slide, and then we're going to practice starting the class. So this is your turn. So this steps 1 through 5, I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to demonstrate all these steps, and then I'm going to give you some time to try it yourself. Here we go. The first thing we have to do is open a Google Slides presentation, which as you can see, I am in a Google Slides presentation right now. I'm going to use this tool that freaks Fern out, but here we go. Sorry, Fern. She does not like this tool at all that I'm about to use. It freaks her out, but here we go. Now here you can see that I am in a Google Slides presentation. There's the tab up top. There's the title of my slide. And here's File, Edit, View. I've got all my menu options. And right here, because I installed that extension, I now have this cute little pear with the words Pear Deck. If you don't see it, you might have to expand your screen. You might have to go full screen to be able to see it because it's in between tools and extensions. It's right there. When you click that, I'm going to take that off. When you click this Pear Deck, it's going to open on the right. And here are those lessons. There's the 8 interactive lesson pieces. You're going to have to select the slide. Let's say you wanted to do something on this particular slide, and you would like to have a poll. If there's a question, whatever it is you're doing, you have to select the slide. And please notice on this slide, there's the question. There's the prompt. On this slide, there's the prompt, and here are the things that they were going to circle. When it was a question, a number question, the question was already on the slide. And all I did was select the slide and choose number. So after you've done that, you start your lesson by clicking on the green button right here that says Start Lesson. And again, you're going to have to choose, is this student paced, where the students are going to do this on their own, homework, independent work, a station, something of that nature? Or is this instructor paced? Is this real time, live, whole group? I need everybody's eyes on everybody's Chromebook in sync with mine, instructor paced. It's going to come up with a join code. And then I can take this code and I can give a link to the students, Google Classroom, emailing it, whatever. Or I can go into GoGuardian and use the Pear Deck tab to share that link with my students so they can join. Okay, so I'm going to give you about 5 minutes, and I want you to try what I just did. I want you to try going through all of those steps, and if you can open a slides presentation, get that Pear Deck extension, find a slide, put the Pear Deck activity on it, and practice sharing. I know you don't have students right now, so you can't really share anything at this point in time, but just give it a try. Okay, I'm going to set a timer. And I'm going to let you work on that, let you play around for just a little bit. It will, if you have not started the session, you will not see it because as soon as you go away, you're going to see a little black bar along the bottom of the slide of your poll that says students choose an option. But when you go live and you are presenting this either with staff or with students, they will then see what you saw with the option to select the poll answer. You as the teacher won't see it. You'll just see this, and then you can click down to see responses when you're ready to see what everybody saw. So you're not supposed to see exactly what the students saw when you're the teacher. It'll look a little bit different for you. So when I opted to add a poll, I put A, Canva, B, explain everything. Let's pretend that I had more than that. I have to click add to slide. 1 second. So now I don't have anything on here indicating that this is a poll, except down here, I see students choose an option. Pear Deck interactive slide, do not remove this bar. That little bar is the indicator that there's something there. When I go live, when I actually share it with people and they come in and join and we get to this slide, they're going to then see the options on the side that I typed out. Okay, so I want to call your attention one more time. I'm going to call you back to our agenda. On our agenda, we talked about, I want you to be able to know how you're going to install the extension, because you do need the extension to make it work, how to participate in a Pear Deck as a student. I wanted you to have that experience of trying that out. Open an existing presentation of your own, trying to see if you could find a Google Slides presentation, clicking that Pear Deck button, getting the panel on the side, and choosing an activity to add to one slide in that presentation. It's going to take a little practice, but once you get used to it, I promise it's easy. If you get this presentation from, let's say it's a Google slide that's in the curriculum planner, or it's one that you used last year, or it's one that you're going to use next month, or it's something that you made up or got a copy of from a friend. The hard work is already done of making the presentation. It's just deciding what's on the screen, if it's going to make sense to the student, and then when you bring the interactive piece, they'll know what to do and what's expected of them. And we're going to jump to the final bullet point of today, which is I want you to learn how to start a Pear Deck on your laptop, but be able to use it on an iPad as well. Here's what I mean. Let's pretend you are in a classroom and your Dell laptop is connected to the projector, right? It's plugged in, and whatever you're showing on your laptop is now on the projector for the students. You start a Pear Deck that way, and the kids join. You could advance the slides from your teacher computer and do the activity just like I was doing. What another option though is to get your iPad, get a secondary device, and join the same active session. And now you as a teacher are in the same active Pear Deck session on two different devices. One is the tethered laptop. The other is the untethered iPad. And why would you do that? What is the purpose of that? Remember earlier when I was saying, oh, I've got 12 out of 19 kiddos. Oh, I've got 18 out of my 19. I'm missing a couple of kiddos. Wouldn't it have been so nice if we were in a room all together and I could just take my iPad and use it as a remote control to continue advancing the slides, but I could walk behind the student I know that has not submitted their work? Wouldn't it be so nice to be able to just be untethered and be in any corner of the room, any section of the room, anytime I need to be? But the Dell laptop that's tethered is showing the slide. The iPad that's untethered is my teacher control panel by remote control to manage the forwarding, advancing, and maneuvering of the presentation. That's what we're going to do today. That's what we're going to do right now. I am going to ask you to switch out your, if you are currently on your laptop, stay on your laptop. But what I'm going to need you to do is grab your iPad. So if you don't have it handy, make sure you have your iPad with you. And we are going to go online. Now, on your iPad, you can either be in Chrome or Safari. Both of those will get you to the internet. I've tried it with both of these browsers and it worked the same. So you do what's comfortable for you. Choose either Chrome to go online or Safari to go online. Once you are online, you're going to need to type this website. It's app.peardeck.com. So on your iPad, go online and type in that website. All right. Again, this is on your iPad. The reason that we're doing this is we are going to add a little Pear Deck tile to your iPad home screen. It will give you a quick shortcut because the way that you are going to be able to sign in to an already active Pear Deck session is through your iPad, through the website. So let's do this together. Again, on your iPad, make sure you've opened up a tab and gone to this site, app.peardeck.com. That's the first thing you got to do. And again, on your iPad, if it didn't automatically log you in, no biggie. Press that blue button that says log in with Google. You've got to sign in with Google because it's going to pull your PISD credentials. Again, if it asks you if you're a teacher, student, you are a teacher, whatever it asks you, just go ahead and make sure that it signs you in with Google, with your PISD credentials. PS, if you sign in with personal Google credentials, you're going to be in the free version and not the full paid version of Pear Deck, and it will act differently. When you are on the when you're on the site, you're going to see this button next to the URL. It's a little square with an arrow pointing up. That's the share button. Please tap that button and you're going to see a menu drop down. And from that menu, you're not going to see it immediately. You're going to have to scroll a little bit, but please scroll until you find the menu option that says add to home screen. So again, you're clicking this little square button on your iPad that's right next to the URL. Scroll a little bit, add to home screen. The next thing you're going to do is name it if you want to. This is optional. You can rename this if you want. Call it anything that your brain will know. Oh, that's where I go to access Pear Deck on a secondary device. And finally, click the blue add word. The word, it says add in blue. Just tap that word add. And boom, you will now have that cute little Pear Deck tile that goes straight to the website on your iPad home screen. So in the future, instead of opening and having to type it in, you just tap on that little tile and you are in quick. When you are in quick, you're going to see something that looks like this. And over on the left side, you will see session history. You may have to scroll a little bit depending on the resolution of your iPad, but over on the left side, scroll a little bit until you see session history. Now on my session history, I'm looking specifically at this one. This is my live session that's happening right now. The students are in the class. It is green, it's live. It's already on the projector for the students, what their view is supposed to be, but I want to see the teacher dashboard, which is this little icon right there. The one on the left is the projector. That's for the kids. The one on the right is the dashboard. That's mine. That's the teacher mode. So I want to click on that little guy to give me this. So now, when I have my iPad and I'm walking around the room with just this, this is my screen. This is what I see. There's the presentation. Do you see over on the left, it's got a scroller bar? That is how I'm going to advance the slides. All the interactive pieces are going to work exactly the same. The students are not going to see what's on my iPad because I'm not sharing my iPad screen. I'm sharing my tethered Dell laptop screen, which only has the student view. My teacher mode in this dashboard is only viewable to me on my iPad. So if I need to walk by a student, if I go check the submissions and I see one kid has not submitted, maybe they need a little help, I can quickly walk over, but keep the learning going, keep my lesson going, and be able to move about the room. So just to recap, you install the extension if you are working on a team of somebody who has never used Pear Deck and you want to share this lovely goodness, please ask them to install the extension because that's how you access it. And you have to sign in with Google. That's how you sign into Pear Deck. I'm so glad you had a chance to participate as a student so that you could see the different interactive pieces of Pear Deck. And I'm glad you had a little bit of time to play today so you could see just how easy it is to take a presentation that you already have, click the Pear Deck extension to activate it, choose a slide and an activity that go together and make that magic happen, and then share that with your students. And the best part, I think, is learning how to use your iPad as the remote control, because that gives you such flexibility and such freedom. And when your principals are coming around to see if you are untethered, to see if you are using these digital tools and leveraging those untethered pieces, this is just one way that you can lead whole group instructions, get kiddos engaged, and be untethered. But in the Zoom chat, this is not in Pear Deck, but open up the chat in Zoom. Please share one thing you learned today that you might use in your classroom that would, or perhaps if you have adult learners, that you might be able to engage as your students. Hi, Miss Anaya. Oh my gosh, I didn't see you were here. Hi, Miss Martin. Oh, very good. Yeah. Balancing equations. Ooh, I want to go to your class tomorrow and go see that. iPads as a remote control. It's interactive, so everybody can do it on their own Chromebook. Oh, yes. Antrishan is the principal, you guys. She's going to use it tomorrow for team leader meeting. Ooh, that's exciting. It keeps everyone engaged and accountable, being interactive. Mary says, learning a new science concept. Ooh, that is fun. Being able to walk around with that iPad, yes, it makes a really, really big difference. Oh, thank you, Linda. All right. So the last thing I want to leave with you are the resources. They are all listed on the last page. There's Pear Deck. There is the Go Guardian resource page. If you have any questions about how to launch with Go Guardian or Go Guardian in general, iPads, the tech directory, and of course the DLT. I'm one of 4 members of the DLT. Fern and Leah and Lily and I make up the DLT, and we are always, always here for you. And if you were to go to the Pear Deck resource page, everything I told you and a whole lot more is listed there. You've got, again, if you have a teammate that needs to see this, this is how to get the power up extension, creating a new lesson, getting Pear Deck on a Google slide. There are all the instructions. We did all this today, but here it is again. So if you are like me and you need to see it again, or you go to sleep and maybe you forgot, that's okay. How do you present Pear Deck with an iPad? All the instructions are listed right here. So if you come back to any of these little expandable menu over on the left side, that again are listed on the Pear Deck resource page, it's all listed there. Everything we went over today and a whole lot more is listed there. Thank you again for joining us today. I hope you learned something new about Pear Deck. I hope you'll have so much fun using Pear Deck and getting the participants engaged in your lessons.